my name's Gabrielle. I am the woman behind Tongue of Light. I appreciate you being here. Today we're talking about a really interesting topic, and it's talking about how being your authentic self creates rapid success in your life. And I'm going to give you examples on how this shows up and how you can step into that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really would help me out a lot. To do this is outside my comfort zone, and this is what I want to do. So, and I'm happy that you're here and a part of that. Yeah, so on the topic of authenticity, everybody wants success, right? But we live in this generation where we just feel like it's going to land on our lap, and the work that comes with it is something that we don't look forward to. But actually, the signs all around us and the work that is like involved in your success is creating room for you to be able to hold on to that success and to also get it rapidly. Because if you didn't go through certain trials, or if you're not being asked to step into different versions of yourself or to release certain things around you, if you were just to receive the things that you desire, you probably would self-sabotage, and you probably actually wouldn't even go for them in the first place because we just don't have the capacity. And I'm going to kind of go into that a little bit deeper here. So, like, on my journey recently, I have been really embodying my truth, how I feel, being able to show up in a room with all that I am and being unapologetic about that. I used to be the woman that would come into a room and I'd be really, quiet, or I would want to try and fit in. So I would have social cues that would kind of go with that, to be accepted. But now in my life, I'm not really looking for other people to accept me or validate me. I can do that myself. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know that I'm a high value woman. So when I step into a room, I'm no longer looking to morph with people in a way that makes them comfortable. I'm looking to be myself and to connect with people who really resonate with me. And since really being unapologetic about that, and let's call it authenticity, right? Because that's who I am. This is who I've worked to become to be. I've noticed how quickly things shift. So it's either making people uncomfortable, it's making people judge me, or, maybe there's people that really enjoy me and like it and are inspired by that energy and they want to be around it. And it's a quick shift. But a lot of us actually self-sabotage when we're in the middle of that transitional shift of like, okay, this doesn't fit you anymore. We're going to take you somewhere where there's people that are going to be for you and opportunities that match who you are. And a lot of times when we're in the middle of the shift, we actually get caught into feelings of like guilt, doubt, fear. And then we start to think that we're bad because other people can't hold space for us, or maybe the opportunity didn't, go through that we wanted or thought that we desired. But I think this is interesting. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. If we desire an opportunity and we get shifted somewhere else, more than likely there's something more for us that we didn't find ourselves even worthy of. And I was saying, like, most of the time when we're being redirected to something more, because we do live in a construct of infinite possibilities, and that's really hard for us to really gather and understand as a whole, because we always want to like figure it out and know the outcome. And so when something, we limitate already what good is. So then when we receive even more greatness, which is always the case, like, I swear, like, what you think you deserve like 100 times more of that, and that is actually waiting for you to receive. And that's why it's like very important too to open yourself to being authentic and figuring out who you are and having those desires and going above and beyond so that you can obtain these blessings. But a lot of the times we get discouraged when we get denied at a point of what we think we deserve. And instead of thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm being redirected towards a higher level of success, maybe there's something that I can't see that is being brought to me, and I'm excited to experience that. Like, imagine if you just held that perspective on like everything that you're being redirected on, how many blessings you would come across. And that is authenticity, because I know that I am worthy of great things. So why wouldn't it be for me? And that's a part of rapid success too, is like understanding the transitional period and being able to claim success in a high, what am I trying to say? In like a fast paced way. Because like you're being challenged. So if you're dealing with fears, doubts, self-sabotage, guilt, regret, these type of feelings are ones to push through. So like say a good thing is in front of you and you start to feel those. That is an indication that you're supposed to step through and claim, which a lot of people don't. They actually just end up self-sabotaging or thinking that those feelings are correct and that they're not worthy of living that life. But that is not true, and that's why like being very strong in yourself and understanding the life that you do want to live, and the things that you wish for, like love or career success, money, things like that. That's why it's really important to understand, like in your body, like, okay, these are the things I want to work towards, these are the things I want to claim. So when they come across and like you start self-sabotaging or falling into these thought patterns, you're able to identify them and step through them. And that's also like a part of authenticity, because you know that you're worthy of it and that these things are just here to test you to push through. Now, I want to explain the difference, right? So when things are there for you to claim and are for you, most of the time they show up as fear, rejection, self-sabotage, doubt, all those things. Things that are not for you that you're being asked to release show up as feeling small in a room, feeling like you walk in and you can't be yourself, feeling rejected, misunderstood, feeling like you have to fight to be heard or seen. These type of feelings are indications that we're being asked to move to a different opportunity. So there's kind of the difference. One, you're being challenged to push through those fears, those doubts, so that you can step even further into your knowing and what you're trying to claim. And the other side is telling you it's time to move on. This space is too small and it doesn't hold the space for you to actually flourish in. But a lot of people get scared of the moving either past to claim, because then you're going against the conditioning that you've had of I'm not enough, I'm unworthy, I'm not loved, I'm not deserving, who am I to claim this? We even sometimes like feel bad because the people around us aren't claiming those lifestyles or aren't living that way. So if we claim it, we're deep down scared of being judged. But that's your test. And sometimes when you are claiming, you have an internal understanding that you are going to have to let go. And that's sometimes one of the hardest things because we've known it for so long. So I want to give you an example. So I've been Twitch streaming for about maybe 6 years now, on and off, because I fail and I come back and learn. I fail and I come back and learn. And I've been growing into who I am. Like, Twitch has honestly helped me figure out who I am as a person. And I've really been able to grow into what works for me. Because at first, when I started streaming, I was looking to people please. And now, who I am now, like, I'm not looking to people please at all. You know, I'm here to be myself, shine my light, my voice, and be who I want to be. But who I was at the beginning of stream is so different from how I am now. And I've had different phases in between to get to this point, right? Being authentic means also being authentic in the version that you are now. Okay, you don't have to be the healed version. You don't have to be the totally awoken version. Like, you can show up now in your wounds and who you are and still be able to grow in that, because it's the journey. So you don't have to wait to a certain point. You can be who you are and learn through it. That's the part of it. That's why when I'm trying to explain like the different fears or feeling shrinkage and stuff, that's why it's so important, like, for success, because then you're able to really identify where you're supposed to go. And these are your senses that you're being ignited in. So you want to work those and be able to see and feel what you're feeling, so that it's your compass. It's literally your compass. And how you can obtain rapid success is being able to know. Okay, well, I feel this way in this area. This is not for me. Okay, well, this fear is coming up. This means I need to push through. This is for me to experience. There's something here for me. And like, my body is trying to reject it because we don't know and we haven't experienced this yet. So it's creating fear. Like, the quicker you can understand these feelings and who you are and what you want to experience, like, you can obtain rapid success because you're able to read the life around you. You're able to read how you feel. Like, and that's why I talk about like reclaiming your power, which I'm writing an ebook right now. And something about it is self-assurance and self-acceptance of the journey that you have lived. And when you can have so much self-assurance of who you are and understanding, it's a lot easier to understand how you feel, because now you're connected to your body and it's not like you're outsourcing. So a lot of people who are asking others, what should I do? How do I do this? You're like, actually, you're not connected to your own intuition and your own path. You're looking for other people to do it themselves, and they actually have no idea, but you can know by your own compass and just even how you feel. But anyways, so through my streaming career, the type of people that I matched with at the beginning are so completely different than the people now. And a lot of people that I knew at the beginning of this have not stayed. And it's because we don't resonate any longer. And that's okay, because the version that I showed up at the beginning was different than now. And the people that came to me at that time matched that frequency. And they showed me and they helped me and they mirrored me. And, you know, I did them. And so it was like an exchange. And over the years, new people would come in, same thing. Then, you know, now there's new people coming in that match this frequency, that are like soul collective. And so that's kind of like the point. And like, it's really hard for humans to let go. We very much have like attachment styles that we feel at loss when we're alone, when we're never really actually alone. But it's like we want to cling on because we don't know what's in the future. And we're like, well, what if this is just going to be forever? I won't have people, and this feels comfortable. How am I to let go? But like understanding that people are sometimes here for a season. Sometimes, like rarely I find that they're here forever. And I know that's so hard to like wrap your mind around, but when you're authentic, this creates shadows. It's going to show other people's intentions. It's going to show how they feel about you. It's going to challenge them. Just as it's going to challenge you, because you're going to have to start speaking your truth to these people, and you're going to have to stop caring about not hurting their feelings because they can't handle that. Like, you see what I'm saying? And then, like, when you're speaking your truth, you're then going to activate and maybe trigger them into feeling like they want to be defensive because they can't take criticism. It's like, it's a give and take situation. And sometimes you have to be like, okay, well, this worked at this part of my life, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for the opportunity. And so, like, another part to creating rapid success through authenticity is like being able to know when a chapter has closed and being able to navigate that with gratitude. Gratitude is probably one of the biggest things for rapid success. Being able to thank people for the experience, being able to thank opportunities, being able to thank what you have now so that you can create more success. And I think we sometimes forget that because we're too busy trying to attach ourselves and live in smaller versions of ourselves. And you'll know this, like you'll know when you're being called into a bigger version of yourself, because it is going to be so hard to hold on to these people, these things, these opportunities. Like you'll start to feel frustrated, angry, upset, just ungrounded around people, or feeling like, oh, something's missing. And it's because we're still trying to attach ourselves to things that no longer resonate. And it's only because we're scared to step through the fear, the doubt, the anxiousness of a new version of ourselves, because we're also scared of the judgment and the repercussions, because again, our mind cannot process what the new beginning is. And I just want to say, like, currently I'm in one of those right now. I'm doing a lot more content. I'm stepping into my own independence, something that I haven't really had the opportunity to. And I'm believing in myself. I'm believing in my voice, my gifts, my wisdom. And that is really, it could be really intimidating, but I understand I'm being called for this for a reason. And this is what I've been working towards. This is why I have the boundaries I have. This is why I've done the self-love work. This is why I talk nice to myself. This is why I've made sacrifices, what looks like sacrifices, right? But it was listening to the flow and the direction of how to get here. And I listened to this for a reason, because I'm worthy of success. And in order to obtain success, I have to also listen to where I'm being called. I can't stay in rooms that keep me small, that make me feel not wanted, not appreciated, because there is going to be rooms out there that can see me, that need me, and I need them. So yeah, I think, no, more like I know, like the more that I stand in my truth and not being afraid of being seen and heard and loved, and it's like this frequency is calling in, and it's challenging. It's challenging you through fears and doubts, insecurities. But when you can like step outside of that and look at it like, whoa, okay, these things are just showing up because I don't know what's to come. And so that's my coping mechanism. And I'm not going to feed into that because I'm worthy of abundance. And abundance isn't just wealth, abundance is love, abundance is connection, abundance is knowledge. It is freedom of self. You start just to laugh at it. Like, okay, yeah, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then when you keep doing what you're doing and you ignore those things, you start to see rapid success, because then you're rewiring your brain like, oh, okay, it's safe. It's okay to step through this. I don't have to be scared of it. Let's get curious, you know? So, you know, don't be afraid to just be your light in whatever way that is and show up exactly how you want to be in this moment. Don't be afraid of changing either and afraid of people's judgments, because it doesn't matter. Like, if those people cannot hold the change of yourself, then what does that mean? What did I kind of point out to you? Then it's not for you anymore. And we don't have to be afraid of that, because there's always more to come. And the things that we release, there can be more of. So, yeah, really exciting. I think that's gonna be it. I feel like there's more to say, but I don't know where to go with it. I just want to encourage you to not be afraid of getting all that you desire, because it is available to everybody. There's enough for everybody. You're the creator. And it's sad when we watch so many sabotage. You know, there's great things that come and it's like it's rejected. You are worthy. You are worthy of success. You're worthy of showing up as yourself. There are people waiting for you. There are people wanting to love you. There's healing and transformation to be had. And every one of us is called for that. It's about claiming it and being like, you know what? What is the harm of trying? What is the harm of thinking that I am made for more? That I can have more? What is the harm of loving over and over and over again? There's no harm in that. And regardless, like, we're going to have to experience the light and the dark here. This is something I was talking about on TikTok. And it's like, you can't escape duality. You can't. And the more that you try to reject the dark, the more you'll live in it. You have to face it. You have to understand it. You have to become friends with it, because really, that side of you that fears, doubts, regrets, guilt, sad, angry, just wants to be loved, just wants to be heard and accepted. And the more that you can become friends with that part of yourself, whenever it comes up, the easier it is to self-soothe. So for me, I'd say like anger and resentment were my biggest ones to work on. I had a dad that was like very angry all the time. So when I was younger, I used to say, I'll never feel anger because I'd never want to look like that or be like that. But that is not, that is not obtainable, and not a goal that you can achieve, because You know, you have all of these feelings for a reason, and it's about learning how to navigate them. So whenever that comes up, I validate myself on, okay, we're angry right now because we feel rejected or we feel unlovable, unworthy, and that's okay. You know, it's okay to feel this. But we're also going to let it go because it's also not the truth. You know, and although like we felt deeply, maybe we gave our all, or maybe we were really betting on this opportunity. Let's go back to patience and being grounded, because there's something awaiting in the background from this. There's something to learn. There's something to grow from. Maybe this was more of an opportunity to step into myself. And you see how like I just alchemized that. I created something that was a tough, dark feeling, and I didn't allow it to consume me. I alchemized it into power, into something that could help me, something of opportunity, optimism, hope. And I think like on my journey, what I've really learned is to be the alchemist and to never let like that darkness, like when it shows up, I infuse it with the light. And so they coexist. And I never shun it. I validate and understand it and love it. But then I create it into something that can work for me and it doesn't hold me down. I think that's why a lot of people too think I'm so like, I don't care, or I'm mean, or and it's like, no, I'm just not going to sit there and swallow myself into something that doesn't work for me. I'm not going to allow. I have already in my life spent too much time on what other people think about me, on how they treat me, and thinking I'm unworthy, and I don't want to do that anymore. 11:11 on the clock. I don't have time to do that anymore. And I had to live it for a long time, and I choose not to live it anymore. And sometimes, like, getting success is being that advocate, is being the one to change the perspective. Even when others don't want you to, they want you to be in sulk about it. And it's like, no, I'm not actually. I'm here for great things. I'm going to make it into great things. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. I hope this gave you some nuggets to think about. I feel like there'll be more on this topic, but I don't want to keep recording and just sitting here in silence. But yeah, much love, guys. Have a good day.